Welcome back, guys. This is my video of me building my lamps that I found on Amazon. I was searching through looking for some floor lamps and I found these here and I saw that they were around $100. I didn't really feel like paying for that and I kind of wanted a project to do. So this is my process and progression of myself building these lamps. So hope you enjoy. Quick tip here is some people don't know that if you're messing around with some raw wood, you can actually just get basically like paper cuts from the edges after you joint them and plane them. I did this a lot when I first started. I would get like little cuts on my hands all the time, so I'll sand down the edges like right after I do that just to prevent it, because you can see here like I don't use gloves whenever I cut my boards and stuff like that, just because I don't want some accident to happen and the blade or whatever tool I'm using getting caught in my gloves and basically just ripping my hands apart, because you know that's like every woodworker's worst nightmare. So with no gloves, I'm probably gonna get paper cuts more often, so that's what I do. What I'm doing here is a little bit frowned upon, I feel like, in the community of woodworking, is just stacking two boards on top of each other to try to figure out how long the second one needs to be instead of just measuring it with a tape measure. But I don't really care. I think it works well for me, so I'm just gonna do it. Shout out to my boy Kirk here. He actually helped out a lot sanding down the edges of all the boards that I made, just so I don't get any paper cuts. This is actually the second lamp that I'm making already. I made the first one in advance, just because I thought it'd be easier to make it and then come back the next day and recreate it and already learn from all the mistakes I made in the first one, just make it a little easier on myself. I actually learned later on that these pieces that I made were actually support pieces for the lamp. I thought maybe it needed more structure, but as it turns out, the main boards are already strong enough to hold it all together by itself. This day was definitely a chilly one. I had to put my jacket in sport mode and everything. The difference in this day is I'm all alone. So today I actually spent a good amount of time creating more of those support bracket pieces, but I was actually doing them the way I should have done it in the first place, which is just putting on a 45-degree angle, which is what I wanted, and cutting them that way. But like I said before, later in the video, it turns out I don't even need these. What's even better is midway into cutting those, one of them actually flew down the chute system of the vacuum, and I had to go downstairs and unclog the system. Let me tell you, this system is literally such a jungle. It's such a mess up there. Trying to find out where the pipes actually go and which one's the one that's actually clogged is such a nuisance. So I found which one was clogged. Find my trusty ladder, get up in there. Attempt to pop it open, even though these things are way tighter than they need to be. Yeah, I'm checking it looking down it because I can't really find out where the thing is, and it's just kind of gone. I don't even know what happened to it. So I put these back together, and I figured if it's not there, I might as well go and check where the extractor goes to, and the turbine itself maybe. So I'll go the whole way down here because I know a couple of times I have dropped things in here, and this little thing usually has some stuff in it. But just like the last part, I couldn't find it. So I gave up. It's probably inside the chute anyway. It's whatever. So at this point in the video, I'm actually going to be cutting a couple tenons basically to joint the tops of the boards and the square that is at the top of the lamp. I'm doing that just to create some easy support without actually having to do a lot of work, like making an actual mortise and tenon, because I'm not very good at those, so I just didn't want to attempt it with this one at all. At this point, I'm ready to make the shelves in the center, which I just used some big sheets from the initial wood that I grabbed, and I'm just cutting these into 10 by 10 squares for now. Now, just like the other pieces that I just cut, I'm going to cut some squares off on these, and I do plan on just screwing most of this together, so I'm just going to chop these out real quick. Now I'm at the point where I gotta chop the tops of these off so I can fit my top square of the whole build onto the top of the posts. Now this is my first time doing these, but I think I've definitely done a lot better this time around on cutting them nice and square. Today, Jaron was actually my ride here because we had some family dinner this night, so he was actually my ride home, so we had to skedaddle because he was getting bored. Day 3 though was actually whenever I decided to start assembling if I could, so I was just doing a little like testing here to like see how things line up, and it turns out I actually cut them wrong. I cut them a little longer than what they're supposed to be. I'm not sure how I did this, but it's completely salvageable because of the fact that they're longer than what I need them to be. So after a few hard days of work, I have all the pieces created, nice and made. They're semi-smooth, still gonna need some sanding, but for the most part, they're basically ready to take home. Oh, and I was missing one support piece if I actually decided to use those. Sometimes I get to a point in the project where I just kind of stand there and my mind just kind of empties itself. I have no idea what I'm doing or what I was planning on doing, but I just stand there and I just look around. I don't know if that's like a relatable thing or not. All of my finished work, I really like to do at my house rather than doing it at the wood shop, so. Okay, here's the plan. Stick that on there, line this up, and then I'm going to slam a screw through all that to hold it together. Use these construction screws. I don't really like using most wood screws because I just feel like they're not that strong, and a lot of times the heads break off of these so-called really good wood screws, and nothing aggravates me more than a broken head on a screw. For whenever you grab your drill bit to drill your pilot holes, you want the threads to be showing if you put your drill bit in front of it, so the threads can still catch, but you have a nice hole that the screw can go into. So you can see now these two, they line up decently well. I had a little bit of an oopsie here, but that's fine. You know, things happen. I drop things all the time. And it's funny because actually when I picked it back up, I put the piece of wood on backwards for this drill, for like whenever I put this screw in. Yeah, pretty great. I don't know how I didn't notice this. Look at me lining it up like I know what I'm doing, even though I just put the thing on backwards. It's really great, really professional. At this point in the project, I already slammed a few shelving in. I didn't really want to get everything on film because I feel like it's going to get a little redundant filming the same thing over and over again. But this is the first test of it finally standing up, seeing how that is. So far, it looks pretty sturdy. My floor in the garage is not level at all, so I am not testing how level it is at the moment. But for the most part, I think it's looking decently good until we get to the top. The top is not square. I don't know what went wrong in the whole process. I'm pretty sure it's these here. They're not cut super well. There's gaps in the top of it that I needed to fix as well. It's a little disappointing, but a little bit of the sawing going on here. I just cut a little piece off, try to make it more so square again. Because like I said before, I'm not really good at this, doing the whole joining thing. I'm still learning, like I'm very new at woodworking still. But cutting that little sliver off actually made this so much better. Like, look at that. That's nice. This day in the shop was so cold. Like, I noticed I was seeing my breath and oh my gosh, it was frigid. So at this point in the video, I'm doing some just sanding right now, but I actually do plan on taking these shelves off to make the finishing just a little bit easier. is the final day of production, I guess I'd call it. I'm going to be doing the painting today. Very exciting. I went with a semi-gloss as the final finish, and this paint that I'm actually going to be brushing on is a flat finish. I'm putting the flat on just to make sure that it's fully coated, and this paint's a little bit thicker than the spray paint, so I think it's going to lay on a little nicer. And as for the finish on the shelves, I'm just going to be using some polyurethane. Before I actually do any of the polyurethane, I did want to sand these down just one more time, just to really get them nice and flat and smooth. Because the polyurethane is gonna, you'll be able to see everything in the polyurethane. Dude, this polyurethane bucket, I don't know why or what happened last time, but it took me so long to open this thing. So I'm just gonna throw it away next time. I basically destroyed the lid trying to get it open. As for the plexiglass, you just simply cut it with an X-Acto blade and then bend it, and it'll break in half on your line. So it's pretty easy to work with. Basically after this, I'll just have to be installing the electrical work, which that's pretty simple, and assembling, and we'll basically be done. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. Really did appreciate it. Hope you liked it a lot. This video took me a long time to make. It took almost a month and a half. It was a lot of work, a lot of editing, a lot of filming. I've never filmed something of this magnitude before. The amount of content that I've had to film is pretty crazy for me, honestly. Yeah, this is almost 75 gigabytes of just footage. Like it's it's insane how much I've filmed just with this, just with this 20-minute video. It's, like I said, I really hope you guys liked the video. Please subscribe. If you haven't already, leave a like. If you liked the video, feel free to leave a comment on what you feel, you know, why not? Once again, thank you so much. Thank you for the supporters that I've gotten so far. I know most of you are family, but I really appreciate you guys watching the video. It means a lot to me because I do put a lot of work into these videos. So thank you so much. And if you made it this far, yeah, I mean, I guess you've liked the video if you made it so far. So yeah, thank you. See you next time.